2022 at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day. Catch our early bird ticket promo from now till the 30th of October 2022, where you get to buy a ticket for the shows at a cool 80 Ghana cedis instead of the usual 100 cedis. Dial star 365 star 535 hash on all networks and follow the prompts to buy your e-tickets. You can also get your physical tickets at our usual outlets. That's the front desk of Joy FM, Shell Shops at Airport, East Legon, Tema Community 11, and Dansoman. Total Shops at Bachona and Hacho. And of course, Frankie's at Osu. You can also visit Roverman production pages on Facebook and Instagram or call 0505 546 010 or WhatsApp 0505 546 030 for inquiries and booking of tickets. The early bird tickets will be valid for only the shows at the first weekend, as the 26th and 27th of November. Sponsors Gino Tomato Mix and Total Family Health Organization. Buy your Roverman's Q4 early bird tickets now. Roverman Productions, be the difference. Uncle, good morning.
How about you? Say, how are you?
Oh, Uncle, I'm fine. How about you?
Well, I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
Great.
I realize that you're keeping the Abodje under control.
Yes, these days the little ones like playing with it too much.
Oh, why are you depriving them of the few amenities and
the playing is such that sometimes they pull it. So while you're not paying attention, they pull it and then you go like, oh, So it's a nice way of bringing it down.
Children are always a good revenge for grandfathers because they do to our children what our children did to us.
Ah, that's true. That's true.
But I hope your week has been good.
Yes, it's been good. I was in Takrady yesterday.
Yes, so I heard.
Yes, I was in Takrady yesterday. I went to Sky Power FM celebrating the 25th anniversary. So I was on the morning show yesterday.
Oh, and that's why they were asking you whether you have resigned and you have left Joy.
I said, no, I haven't. Wilson Arthur, who's the CEO of the Sky Media Group, would not even have let me do that.
Okay, yes, because of his relationship with Joy.
Exactly. He wouldn't let me do that.
Yes, I know that. Yeah. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Winston, over the last 2 weeks, I have been marking the 32nd anniversary of the day I was dismissed from my job. On Monday, I narrated how some people rejoiced at my sacking.
Sure.
And some even went to my boss to congratulate him for it. I was home for 1.5 years, and during that time, I grew. I discovered how vicious people could be, but I also experienced the goodness and generosity of so many. This morning, I bring you some of those instances when people came through with kindness and goodness. A few years ago, on this very platform and for Food for Thought, I talked about how two young ladies whom I had been monitoring split their salaries with me throughout the 1.5 years I was unemployed.
Wow.
They were both teachers. Winston, they were teachers, earning very little and teaching in different schools. But every month, when they got their salaries, they would, independent of each other, pass by the house and hand me an envelope containing half of their salaries. The interesting thing is that I did not know at the time that they were actually splitting their salaries with me until I got back on my feet and discovered how much they earned. And that was when I realized that for 1.5 years, they were sharing their salaries with me 50-50. Can you imagine? It moved me to tears. I will never forget that level of kindness and sacrifice for me. And then there was the strange phenomenon that occurred every week or so during the time I was home. We would wake up and find that someone had left a small bag of rice and cooking oil at the door. We never found who was responsible for it.
Wow.
We never discovered if this was the generosity of one person or of different people. But Winston, the parcels were left at the door at dawn regularly until I finally got a job 1.5 years later. I remember the first Christmas that after I had been sacked, I woke up in the morning and in my prayers, I said, oh God, what am I going to do? When I was working, we could afford at least some chicken for Christmas.
Yeah.
But now, with what we are going through, how are we going to celebrate Christmas? Wednesday, just when I finished praying, Florence, my wife, rushed into the room and said, Ebo, come and see. She was very excited and pulled me out of the room to the compound. And under the under the tree in the middle of the compound was a big white sheep.
Wow.
We lived in a gated compound with security. And so I called the security and asked, who brought this? And the security said, Massa, I know Siam.
Hey.
I believe that God moved the heart of somebody or some people to provide richly for us for the 1.5 years that I was home. The provision for me and my household throughout the period was such that we had more food at home for those 1.5 years than when I was working. And even though I was out of job and we were a single income family, we were able to feed the many people who passed through the house at various times to commensurate with me. Depending on when they called, they had breakfast or lunch or supper, in some cases, all of that, because some stayed the whole day.
Okay.
So we had more than 4 guests for each meal throughout the period. Their presence and support was therapeutic for me during those dark days of my life. Through them, I came to understand the fancy saying, "Nimpa yedo." Winston, you are the scholar. How would you translate that? Nimpa yedo.
You want transliteration or?
No, not transliteration. Transliteration would be human being is sweet.
Human being is sweet. But I mean, basically, you're talking about the joys of having a friend who truly cares, like a friend in need.
Of having people, yes.
Yeah, people who care.
Let me give you my loose translation. There is comfort in people.
Yes. There's comfort.
There is comfort in people. That's the way I translate it. My way back to my feet was gradual and sometimes heartbreaking. I remember that one of my mentors who had taken advantage of my availability and gotten me to help him set up his dream business. When the business was ready to take off, he decided to appoint me as his deputy. We agreed on the terms of appointment, and he even got me a brand new car for my official car. The vehicle was a Mitsubishi minivan. Then he said, Ebo, at the level at which I'm employing you, your appointment will have to come through the board. But I have told them about you and how much involved you have been in the setting up of the business. And they are all happy that you are available to work with us. So I'll set up an interview for you with the board tomorrow at 11 a.m. And it is going to be a mere formality. Winston, at the set time, I was at the interview. It took about 40 minutes. At the end of it, the board expressed their satisfaction with me for the role and said, Mr. White, before you go, is there anything you would want to ask us or say to us? Winston, I began a short debate with myself. Do I tell them of my dismissal? At the time, I had gone to court to clear my name. I felt that I was going to work with this board at a very high level, and I did not want them to find out the circumstances under which I left my last employment. And so I decided to come clean with them. So I said to them, there is something I think you should know. I was dismissed from my last place of work, but it was a wrongful dismissal. And so I am in court fighting to clear my name. If at the end of the case, the court rules that I am guilty of the charges and deserving of the dismissal, I promise you that I will hand in my resignation so you can look for somebody better. But I assure you that I am not guilty of any of the charges, and I know I'll be cleared in court. One of the board members on the panel happened to know the architect of my dismissal, and he went to see that man for reference. The result, he came back to advise the board not to give me the job. I had to hand over the brand new car, which I had used at that time for about a month, and say goodbye to my brand new official residence that was being furnished for me. It was one of the most heartbreaking incidents and consequences of my dismissal. It took me time for me to get over the heartbreak and disappointment. The only good thing is that the founder of this company, my mentor, went on to find a fantastic young man for the role. And so in that respect, I guess it was good that they did not give me the job. Winston, you know, life would test you till you lose confidence in yourself. But if you do not break, the same life will find ways of lifting you up. And that was my experience. And more of that on Monday. Until then, have a great day.
Thank you very, very much, Uncle Kpebu White, for joining us with Food for Thought, brought to us by Roverman